Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to uncover a single, absolutely incredible secret used by top AI engineers and researchers to literally transform their results. If you've been following along with us, you probably already know the basics, right? Structuring a prompt, defining a role, setting some constraints. But today we're leveling up big time. We're going to unlock a technique that takes your AI from being just a basic answer dispenser and turns it into a complex, high-level reasoning engine. Okay, moving right into section 1, the secret to AI reasoning. Let's just dive straight into this hidden mechanic. Because honestly, once you wrap your head around this, you are going to completely revolutionize how you talk to your AI tools from this day forward. We've kind of been trained to expect instant answers from our tech. We type in a query, smash that enter button, and boom, we expect a fully formed result in actual milliseconds. But ask yourself this. What if we could force the AI to just take a breath and pause? What if we could actually compel it to truly analyze a complex problem, weigh all the variables, and actively process the information before it just spits out a response? Well, the secret to unlocking that higher level reasoning actually comes down to one simple, almost magical phrase: step by step. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds way too basic to actually work, right? But it's kind of like building a staircase to reach a higher level of thought. The underlying architecture of these large language models is uniquely designed to respond to this exact instruction and ascend to a much deeper level of logic.
In the industry, this is formally known as chain of thought prompting, and it's exactly what it sounds like, really. It's a technique where you ask an AI to think through a problem sequentially, laying out its logic step by step, rather than just throwing the final answer at you. This concept essentially gives the AI the breathing room it needs to process logic. It forces the model to generate those intermediate reasoning steps, which, mathematically speaking, massively increases the accuracy of its final output.
So that brings us to section 2, when normal prompting fails. Because look, we have all been there, right? You give the AI a prompt and the answer comes back completely flat, super generic, or just, well, flat out wrong. Figuring out exactly why it fails is the first step to fixing it. See, while an AI can easily tell you what, say, 27 multiplied by 14 is in a split second, it tends to jump the gun and get its wires totally crossed on more complex tasks. I'm talking about things like dense logical reasoning, complex coding tasks, heavy math problems, project planning, debugging code, or strategic decision-making. If you don't give it room to think, it tries to just guess the final answer without doing the necessary reasoning first. It skips the working out phase entirely. And it's exactly like a student taking a complex math test. If you don't show your work, you are way more likely to get the wrong answer. Which leads us nicely into section 3, the step-by-step solution. The crucial point here is figuring out exactly how to take the AI off autopilot, slow it down, and put it into that deep analysis mode. This right here brilliantly illustrates the paradigm shift you need to make. Basic AI users treat their tools like a simple search engine. They punch in a quick query and expect a fast result. But advanced AI users, they treat AI like a dedicated thinking partner. Think about it. You wouldn't walk up to a human consultant, drop a massive, highly strategic problem on their desk, and demand a flawless answer in 2 seconds, right? No way. You'd ask them to map out their strategy. Making this mental shift changes literally everything about your outputs. Let's look at this stark contrast in action. A normal prompt, like, what's the best way to launch a YouTube channel, is just going to give you generic fluff. It's kind of like a gumball machine. You pop a coin in and a random generic answer drops out. But adding our secret phrase completely unlocks an entirely different level of quality. By explicitly telling it to think step by step and explain how a beginner can successfully launch a YouTube channel from scratch, we actually trigger the model's underlying reasoning pathways. Because large language models are trained on vast amounts of human reasoning patterns, the AI suddenly breaks the whole process down into these deep, logical, and incredibly useful categories. It doesn't just hand you a superficial tip, it systematically builds you a comprehensive plan. It starts with your research, moves logically over to niche selection, then dives into the mechanics of thumbnails and titles, builds out consistency strategies, and finally tackles monetization. It becomes a structured master plan, not just a quick throwaway search result. And you can see this exact same magic happen in coding too. A weak prompt just says, hey, fix this code. And honestly, the AI will probably just spit out a block of modified code that might not even work. Plus, you won't even know why it made the changes it did. But look at the better prompt. Analyze this code step by step. Identify the issue, explain why it happens, and then provide the corrected version.
Instead of acting like a random code generator, this chain of thought prompt actually makes the AI behave like a senior software engineer. It forces it to analyze, identify, explain, and then solve. A real game changer. All right, moving on to section 4, building expert-level prompts. Let's see how we can build this into something even more powerful when we stack it with other advanced frameworks. Because yeah, chain of thought is amazing on its own, but it is truly unstoppable when you start combining it. To build a truly expert-level prompt, the masterclass prompt formula combines 3 core pillars. First, role prompting, giving the AI a specific persona, so telling it who to be. Second, structured prompting, dictating the exact format you want, so telling it how to present the data. And third, our new best friend, chain of thought prompting, demanding step-by-step reasoning, so telling it exactly how to think. When you snap all those elements together into a single prompt, like perfectly fitted puzzle pieces, you are effectively programming the AI to give you a flawless, expert-tier roadmap. Act as an AI business consultant sets that high-level expertise context. Think step-by-step ensures the logic is totally sound and thorough. And keep the explanation structured in bullet points ensures the final output is highly readable and actionable for you. It really is the ultimate prompting trifecta. Section 5. Avoiding common prompting mistakes. Now, before you go off testing this master formula, we definitely need to cover the biggest pitfall that trips people up. Because even with chain of thought, it is surprisingly easy to derail the AI if you aren't careful. Whatever you do, please do not overcomplicate your prompts with these bad habits. I see people writing massive, rambling essays to the AI, burying their actual instructions under confusing or contradictory context. Or worse, asking it to write a Python script, summarize a 300-page novel, and plan a keto diet all in the exact same breath. When you do that, you are practically handing the AI a mountain of paperwork and just watching it short-circuit. You completely overload its context window and it breaks its chain of thought entirely. You've got to keep your task scoped and precise. I want you to always remember this golden rule from our source material. Clear thinking creates clear prompts. Your own mental clarity is absolutely the ultimate prerequisite for getting clear, accurate outputs from your AI tools. If you are confused about what you actually want, trust me, no amount of prompting tricks will save you. You must know exactly what problem you're trying to solve before you ask the AI to think step by step to solve it. And that brings us to section 6, your AI reasoning challenge. Now that you officially hold the keys to this technique, I have a very specific challenge for you to try out today. Because we don't just want theory here, right? We want practical, immediate application. I want you to pick any highly difficult task from your actual life right now. Maybe you're wrestling with a messy automation script, or you're trying to figure out the next 5 years of your career path. Or maybe you need to draft a highly nuanced piece of content for a very specific audience. Just choose a task that actually matters to you, something that currently feels like a massive, unsolvable maze. Here's what you do. Feed that problem to the AI with whatever normal prompt you would usually use, look at the result, then clear the chat and run the exact same query a second time, but just add this one phrase to the very end. Think step by step. When you compare those two results side by side, you are going to instantly notice a massive leap in logical quality and usefulness. You're going to see drastically better reasoning, a much clearer structural flow, and significantly smarter, actionable outputs. You are essentially turning lumps of rough coal into structured, refined diamonds. That second output won't just be words on a screen. It'll be a properly reasoned, highly structured flow of ideas that you can actually implement right away. The difference is literally night and day. Because at the end of the day, as our source material so brilliantly puts it, AI becomes powerful not when it answers fast, but when it reasons well. Yes, the sheer speed of AI is impressive, for sure, but its true utility lies in its cognitive emulation. The people who learn how to effectively guide that reasoning, the ones who figure out how to unlock the thinking partner rather than just the search engine, those are the people who are going to have a massive, undeniable advantage in the AI era. Well, that just about wraps up our explainer for today. But I want to leave you with a quick glimpse into our next deep dive. Chain of thought gives your AI the incredible ability to reason. But what happens when you combine that flawless logic with the persona of an elite marketing expert or a world-class senior developer? The next frontier is mastering AI personas, shifting this tech from a basic tool into your own fully customizable intelligence system. So I leave you with this question. Will you keep using AI as a basic tool, or are you ready to build your ultimate thinking partner? Keep experimenting, keep exploring those step-by-step workflows, and we will see you next time.